Hello friends, it's Kelly Pullum here, also known as Craftin' Granny. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! In Canada. If you'd like to learn more about paper crafting and stamping, please stay tuned. Tonight I'm going to be making a tent card using some brand new products from Stampin' Up! I have the Countryside Corners dies, which are some nesting dies, and I have the Fresh as a Daisy Designer Series paper that I'm working with tonight. So that's going to be fun to do. I don't know about you, but it's very hot where I am. So if I look flushed and a little sweaty, that's because I am, because we don't have air conditioning. And the first few hot days always hit me a little bit hard. So anyway, but I'm happy to be here with you and crafting tonight. It's been kind of a hectic day around here. If you've been following me, you'll know that we are preparing to move. And so today it was going through the toy cupboard. And the toy cupboard dates back all the way to 1960s when my husband and his brothers were born, because this is the house that he grew up in. So we were sorting through toys dating back as far as that and all the way up to now. And so it seems kind of crazy, but there you are. That's what we're doing in preparing to move. So anyway, if you're watching, please say hello and let me know where you're watching from. I love to know who's with me. That's always a great thing. So I'm going to switch over to the desktop view so that you can see what I'm working on here. Just need to quickly switch that. Here we are. Good. Okay, I can get rid of this keyboard now. I do want to mention a few things. First of all, Stampin' Up! Is having a Designer Series paper sale starting not tomorrow but the day after, June 1st. And they have many Designer Series papers from the annual catalog that are on sale 15% off. And if you're interested in knowing the specific ones, you can go to my Craftin' Granny Stamping Friends Facebook group. I've posted the file there, and I also sent it out to my people who are signed up for my email. So if you're interested in learning more about paper crafting, by all means send me a message and I will sign you up for the email mailings. So what else is happening? Yes, coming up on July 6th, there will be some new online exclusives. So we had some of those come out in March, and there's going to be a new set coming out in July. So that's kind of exciting. It's like another whole collection of brand new products. You can only access them online. That means a demonstrator can order for you, but there's no catalog for them. You need to look online to see what they are. And so if you don't have a demonstrator and you want to know more about that, by all means send me a message. Okay, what else do I need to cover? I think, one more thing here. I have a June card kit of the month, and I used the Hello Ladybug stamp set. And these are the two cards in the kit. A kit costs $12, and that includes the price to mail the materials to you. You need to have sentiments of your choice and a black ink pad and adhesives, and then everything else to make the cards will be sent to you. So that is it. I used the Hello Ladybug stamp set, but you don't have to. If you want to switch up the sentiments, you can use whatever you prefer. Okay, so I think that covers that. Now, I've been doing a series this month using the Countryside Corners dies. The first video I did, I guess the first one was our catalog walkthrough, but then I did this tri-fold card to show people how you can use these Countryside Corners dies to make a tri-fold card. So if you missed that video, feel free to go back and look. Oh, Yvonne, is that for the email? I'll sign you up on my email list. Okay, will do. Teresa. Okay, Yvonne. I'm sorry, Yvonne, I'm confused. But Nancy's calling you Yvonne, so there you have it. Okay, then last week I did this card, and this is another fun fold, and it's got sort of a reverse Z fold here. You can see that. And this was using the Zany Zoo and the Zoo Crew Designer Series paper, so that was fun. The first one used the Countryside Inn Designer Series paper and the Petal Park flowers there as well. And then today I'm going to make a tent card. And so this was the card I made initially as my sample. I made this one, and then I decided I wanted to change it up a bit. Hi there, Sue and Nancy. Good to see you here with me tonight too. So I decided I wanted to change it up a bit, and then I had a funny thing happen. So I'm going to show you. I decided I wanted to switch the stamping so that I had the tree on the opposite side, and the ladybug could come in from the right side, and that's because I wanted to use a smaller die. So I had started off with this big die, and I used that one, and then I decided I wanted to see more of the Designer Series paper. So I decided to go with the next die. But you can see if I use the next die to cut out the paper, I'm going to lose most of my little hedgehog there. That's not going to work so well, and my sentiment wouldn't fit. So I decided with that I needed to switch up the design a little bit. I'm going to switch you over so you can see a little bit closer here. Give me a second. There we go. That's in a little closer. Let's try to get you focused a little better there. Yeah, okay, that's a bit better. So then I designed this layout, and I did this, and I thought this is great because now I can get the sentiment in there. I still get the benefit of the tree. And I went merrily stamping along, and I was doing a swap. So I did 8 cards like this. I stamped them on the Stamparatus, so I put everything in position once, stamped away, got everything stamped. And then when I went to do the coloring, I realized my butterfly is upside down. So I don't know if you can tell there, but that little body, the antennae are at the bottom. Kind of, I don't know if you can see it. The antennae are at the bottom. So I had a problem. So I decided that I would just throw these all away, and I didn't know what to do with them. But then my friend Sue, who's on here tonight, said, "Oh, you can't throw those away. There's a way to save those." And she said to me, "You need to stamp your butterfly on a little white piece of paper, and then you can put that on top of your card, and all those pieces can be saved." So I took that idea and this is what I can do. So I'm going to do one using the Fresh as a Daisy paper and the Moody Mauve background. And then the one I had initially planned, I'm going to do here. And that is using this Fresh as a Daisy paper. And I've got crushed curry here to use. So I'm going to start off. I've got a card base. This is, and I think I might zoom back out again here so that you can see a little more there. All right. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, which I'm going to burnish. Then I have my Designer Series paper, and this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to put adhesive around the outside here. I'm not going to put it in the middle because I'm going to die cut, and I want that middle piece to pop out. Okay. So here we go. That's going on there. Okay. Now for the stamping part, I've got 2 pieces of cardstock here. We'll cut this out in a moment. I've got 2 pieces of cardstock here, and we are going to do on one, we're going to put the tree. We're going to stamp the butterfly separately. We're going to put our sentiment on here, and we're going to do a little hedgehog, and I'm going to have to fussy cut my little hedgehog here. Okay, so we'll just set that aside, and I'll take this one out for the back. Actually, yes, I might take this one out too. Why not, eh? Can't have too many hedgehogs. So, for my stamping, I'm using Early Espresso ink. Now, you might be surprised that I'm not using the Memento ink. Yes, that's right, Sue, I did. I had all 8 thrown in the scrap bucket. Okay, so in order to do this, you need to know what you're working with. So I'm going to do some coloring with Stampin' Blends. They are alcohol-based markers. And so you want to stamp with a water-based ink. Now this, all of Stampin' Up's basic classic colors are all water-based ink. So I can use any one. I don't have to use Memento. I can use any one, and it will work just fine. Now I think I forgot to bring the right one for my tree here, but I might be able to make it work if I just use this, because I'm going to, I should, yeah, I can do that because I'm just going to have this side of the tree anyway. I've got my sentiment, I've got my hedgie, but my hedgie is going to be stamped separately, and my butterfly is going to be stamped separately. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to ink up my tree here. And I want to make sure this is going to be in the position I want it. So I'm going to kind of set this on here. Once I know where I want my tree, and I want to leave enough room for my sentiment at the top there. So I'm going to come down far enough here, place this down. Doesn't matter what it looks like beyond the page there, so that's okay. Not too bad anyway. This sentiment doesn't want to stick too well there. I'm a little worried it's going to just fall off. Okay, so again, I can put this on so I see where I'm at. What am I doing here? Let's get this lined up. There we go. Okay, now on the back, I'm going to stamp a hedgehog. So this little guy, and this is the one that works with the punch. I'm not actually going to end up using the punch tonight. There we are. And then I've got this little guy, this sentiment. Make sure I get this right side up. Nope. There we go. Okay. There. Okay. Now, one more stamping piece to do, and that is actually two more. I've got my little butterfly, and this is what I did with some of the ones I did. I couldn't figure out what to do with the butterfly, so I used this little die cut from another die set. I think it was from Quiet Meadows, but I really do like the little butterfly from this set, so that's what I'm going to use tonight. So we're going to take this Hedgie, they don't want to stay on there tonight. They're threatening to fall off on me, these stamps. I guess that means I need to clean my blocks. Add that to my to-do list. Okay. So now I am going to do some coloring. I've got my crumb cake here. This is light crumb cake. I think the top end is just about worn out, but the bottom end is fine. So I'm going to just use that to color Mr. Hedgie. I'm not being too careful because his body is supposed to look prickly anyway. So if I have a few little bits, that's all well and good. So there we go. And then I've got the other little Hedgie. Oh, I didn't do my butterfly yet either, did I? Oops-a-daisy. Unfortunately, if I'd had, I don't know if the wheat color would have worked with this because it is in the designer series paper, but I did not have the wheat colored markers yet. So hopefully they'll get on my shopping list soon. Let's do this butterfly before I forget. Nice thing about stamping on a circle is it doesn't matter which direction it's in, right, Sue? Okay, so now I've got, this is Daffodil Delight Dark. I'm going to do a little coloring of the flowers here. And I think I colored the whole thing, but I don't know if I'm going to do that this time. Well, yeah, I'm going to color around the outside. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to color the whole thing. And then when I color over with the other color, it's going to make the center look kind of brownish. So there we go. Here we are. Now you can do really fancy coloring with these Stampin' Blends, but I am not doing that tonight. This is just filling in the lines, literally. Because sometimes you just want it done in a hurry. So there we go. Oh, this one needs a little color up there too. Now I'm going to take my crumb cake again and just, oops, wrong end again. Just do my tree trunk. Now when you're using a Stampin' Blend that is fully inked, it's so easy because you hardly have to even touch the paper with the ink. It's amazing how easy it is to get that color. So this is the Old Olive Light, and I'm being a little messy here. That was an oops. And I'm actually going to go in the center here, and that's going to kind of turn those centers from yellow to brown. Okay. Now my ladybug here, or not my ladybug, my butterfly. Yes, Kelly, can you tell your bugs? I hope that is not a dementia moment. I'm going to just assume it's a, I don't know what moment. Not a dementia moment. Couldn't be. All right, I'm going to just add some color here. I think I'm going to go heavier on the outside. And because I don't have my black marker here, I'm just going to do a little bit of crumb cake on the body. There we go. And I forgot to bring over the Daffodil Delight light, so I could do that afterwards. So let's put our butterfly here. It's just going in the center. So I've used a 1-inch circle punch and a 1 1/8 scalloped punch. These are Stampin' Up! Products, but they're no longer available. But you could use, we have circle dies, we have nesting circle dies that you could use now, and they would be fine. So that is going to go on here, but I'm going to wait until I get my die cutting done to position that. I need to do my cutting here. This little man has to be fussy cut. And you can probably tell I'm not being terribly fussy. Just leaving a bit of a white border. Trying to make it quick and easy. Turn the paper more so than the scissors. I do turn my scissors a little, but primarily I turn the paper as I'm working my way around. Okay, so that is ready. Now, let's put all these things aside, and I'm going to pull in my piece to die cut. So here is my card base, just cleaning up my space a little so I have room to bring in the big machine. Okay. A little tip with your liquid glue. Always put the lid on when you're done using it, because it does dry, and then you end up with little sticky bits that just don't want to come off the end, you know, and then it gets clogged. So here's my big boss. I'm going to open this up because I don't want to cut through both layers. I'm going to place this die on top, and this is what's going to cut the card front. So you can only see 1/2 of this machine. So I'm going to place this on. You won't see it come out the other end, but trust me, it will. All right. I guess, am I close up again or back out? No, I'm back out, so we'll just leave it at that. Okay, I'm trying to get this washi tape off here, and it is confounding me tonight. There we go. So I always take the washi tape and put it on my hand to let the oils take off some of the stickiness, and that helps to prevent the paper from sticking to it, and when I go to peel it off, it's a little easier. So we're going to just place that in place. Another clear plate on top. Best on a bit of an angle. Oops, now I've messed it up. Gotta hold my mouth right, as my mother-in-law would say. I think I've got it there. Okay, and through we go. Well, maybe I did it too crooked. Gotta turn this a bit again. Here. Try again. There, now we get all the way through. Okay. So I've set the center pieces aside for use another time. And I've got my card front here. And I'm going to take, I had another little white piece here. Here we are. So this piece is scored. It's what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 1/4 by 2 inches, scored at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5 inches. And I am going to fold here and burnish, fold back and burnish, and the other way, and burnish, and there we go. So this is what's going to make the piece to hold up my tent card. So I'm going to glue this on in the front and in the back, and that's what will make it stand up. So a little bit of liquid glue here. I've got more on there than I needed, but that's going to be okay. I'm going to start here with the back, and there's a method to my madness. So we're going to glue this back piece in right over the top of the cardstock. Make sure it's slid down to the bottom. And then this piece is going to go on top. So this was cut to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and this is going inside here. And I'm going to use my adhesive, my runner, for that. And that is going inside here. And that just goes right over top of my bottom piece there. And that's why I did the bottom first. And now I can take this piece do some glue on the front, and this piece can come down and stand up. So I'm just pressing down to line it up along the bottom, but you can see how it's going to make the little window here. Okay, so there we go. So now my little guy here, he's going on the back, and this is your spot to write for this card. Alrighty. So that just fits on the back. It's also 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I've got my little hedgehog, which I'm going to put on the front here so he stands up nicely. So just a little adhesive on the back end of him. I've got too much, got to fold it under there. All right. So he can go right there. And then my butterfly, which I can pop up with a dimensional here. And thank you, Sue, for this tip. So this is just going to go right up here. I think I'm actually going to overlap there a bit because I can, and I don't want it to get outside of my window. So there we go. Oops, just threw my glue on the floor. So that is tonight's card. So I am going to complete this one in the other color scheme, and I will post it on my blog. So if you'd like to see the one done with Moody Mauve, and this is the bubble bath markers. I'm going to do the flowers with that. Then you'll have to pop over to my blog to see this card. My blog is Craftin' Granny's Creative Cafe, and there's a link on in the description of the video above there. So I would love it if you'd have a look at that. So I don't know what you think, but I really do like this card with more DSP around it. I think it just, I don't know, it just has a little more color to it maybe. Anyway, so I like that. Thanks for joining me tonight, and I appreciate that you stuck with me. Feel free to share the video. If you think you know anyone that would like to see it, just share it. Click share. That's always appreciated. And I hope you'll come back and join me next week. Next week, I'm going to begin doing a whole series of cards using this Fresh as a Daisy Designer Series paper. And that is one of the papers that is on sale in our DSP sale. So if you think you might like to try and make the cards that I'm going to be making, you might want to pop on there and see. The cards will use other products, of course, but I'm doing cards that are relying quite heavily on the Designer Series paper for the layout. So anyway, thank you again for being here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Do not melt in this heat that's coming up. I understand we're supposed to get 30-degree days this week. So don't melt. I hope you'll come back and see me again next Tuesday. Take care, friends. Good night.